And when we are talking about a crisis of confidence, how can we not bring up China? Its debt piles are unsustainable. We're talking about trillions of dollars in debt, an economy under pressure, and erratic policies. Now, Beijing has shot itself in the foot again. It has disrupted a $21 trillion market, the Chinese bond market. There was panic among investors because China stopped sharing data on bonds. First of all, what is a bond? It is a way for companies and governments to raise money. Basically, bonds are loans. And China suddenly stopped sharing live data about the value of its bonds. This led to panic. Let me explain further. Imagine you're a trader. You buy and sell financial assets for a living, and for this, you rely on data. Now, you turn up for work one day. You switch on your computer and suddenly your screen goes blank. There is no data. You're unable to see the price of an asset. And if you cannot check the price, how will you buy or sell an asset? I'm not describing a hypothetical situation here. This is exactly what happened to Chinese traders this week. They were unable to check the prices of bonds. When they turned up for work, they were greeted with blank screens. In desperation, many of them came up with hacks. They turned to online chat rooms and to apps like WeChat to share prices and to do deals. But why did this happen? Was there an outage, or did someone order a suspension? Beijing has not offered an explanation yet, but reports say the orders came from Chinese regulators. You see, this data on bond prices is provided by pricing aggregators. Apparently, some of them were asked to stop offering data feeds. Now, we're not sure if it was a blanket ban, but going by one claim, 3 out of 6 aggregators were asked to stop providing data. After the chaos, the data feeds were back online, but the entire episode proved to be an act of self-sabotage. The market was disrupted. And why would China do something like this? After all, debt is their favorite tool. One explanation is this, that Beijing wants greater control over the market. It is making sweeping changes in its financial and tech space. It is replacing its banking regulator. China is creating a new agency to oversee the financial sector. It is also tightening regulation over all kinds of data. And what's driving these decisions? Here is how Beijing explains it. The new administration will strengthen institutional supervision, supervision of behaviors, and supervision of functions. They use the word supervision thrice in one sentence. And supervision in this case means control. These changes are being driven from the top. Xi Jinping has reshuffled his top team. It will give him more control over the state, and more control can also mean more cover-up. China is facing a serious debt crisis. Local governments have amassed a massive pile of debt. They owe more than $9 trillion. And thanks to the interest, this debt pile is growing. Local governments are not being able to pay these loans. So they're putting more pressure on banks. They want loan extensions. They want interest rates to be slashed. Loans of around $790 billion are due this year alone, $790 billion. No local government has defaulted yet. Some have had their loans extended. Others would want the same if they can't come up with the money. But how did they amass so much debt in the first place? This is linked to China's infrastructure push. When there was a boom, the local governments borrowed a lot of money. But right now, the Chinese economy is struggling, and these governments are under strain. China is trying to revive the economy, but even the new premier admits it won't be easy.
China's economic growth target is set at about 5%, which is established after taking into account all factors. Of course, now we have a large economic volume that has passed 120 trillion, and now there are many new challenges. In this high base, to reach the growth target of about 5% is not an easy task. We need to work harder.
Xi Jinping's new powers will come in handy now. But what about the investors? They want stability. They want less knee-jerk reactions from Beijing. For now, that's not happening.